What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the German Bear Podcast. And today we got day 9 recap of the 2022 Chicago Bears training camp. And at day 9 we got a padded practice that was closed to the public, so not a lot of information was giving out about several plays and these kinds of things. And also today's practice was not the main priority today. Big news today were all about the injuries that happened at camp, before camp, all these kinds of things. And I will get to that within the next minutes. And the reporters did not give out a lot of info about the practice, so I will try my best and give you everything important about day 9 today. So let's get right into it and talk about the injury report. And first of all, I want to talk about the players that actually returned to practice. And first of all, the big name is Teven Jenkins actually is back. Teven Jenkins returns, and he did not have a lot of action today, but it was just straight up good to see him back in a Bears uniform for the first padded practice for him as well in training camp in general. I mean, it was just his second training camp practice in 2022. And the Bears are just trying to ease him back in after missing a lot of practices. He just gets going again, and they just want to slowly get him involved before he takes some team drills to just risk any re-injuries. We don't know what he exactly had. And he also took a presser afterwards, and in that press conference, he didn't give out info about what exactly was the case with him, why he was out for such a long time. But he said that he wants to be in Chicago, which is first of all big news, as well as that he had no problem with the coaches at all. So he said that those were some false informations by these reporters. And I mean, now it looks like he is in the shape that the coaches wanted him to be. He obviously has to be fired up to prove the people wrong, and I believe he will make a push for a starting spot. I mean, Teven Jenkins coming out of college was such a talented player. He's an absolute beast. Did not look bad last season. Obviously, he had his problems, but he missed the entire training camp last season due to his back issues, and then was just thrown into the cold water against Green Bay in a pretty big, I think even primetime game, and he definitely held his own. I mean, he obviously had some problems and drew some penalties, but what you want, man. It was a rookie that was in his first game that probably had to shit himself because he was so nervous. I would be too. And he did a solid job for the rest of the season, in my opinion, and now he hopefully gets back to practicing, works his ass off, and at the end of the day just becomes a great player for the Chicago Bears. That's the end that we all want for Teven Jenkins. Obviously, there were these trade rumors, and if he doesn't match with the team and with the coaches, I'm fine with trading him. But as it looks like, he doesn't have a problem with the coaches, and it was just a medical or I don't know, whatever issue. So I'm just glad that he's back at practice. I love seeing him back out there, and I would definitely enjoy seeing him on the field as a starter or as a swing tackle for the Chicago Bears. He can be a valuable piece to the offense nonetheless. So it was obviously good seeing Teven Jenkins back on the field, and I wish him the best throughout the training camp, that he can impress the coaches and will be a good part of the Bears organization. Also, another player that was back today was Robert Quinn. He was excused from Friday's training by the coaches, and he was back today as well. So nice seeing our big pass rusher back on the field. And now moving on to the non-participants for today. Kindle Vildor is still out. Duke Shelley is still out. James O'Shaughnessy is missing. Wide receiver Dante Pettis, and also defensive lineman Angelo Blackson once again is missing. He was back on Friday, but is missing once again today. As for the rookies, we got some kind of updates on Kyler Gordon and also Velus Jones Jr. as well as Braxton Jones. The 3 rookies are all with undisclosed minor issues and are considered day-to-day, so nothing too big. I expect him being back within the next couple of days and just participate once again. Maybe some minor issues, but nothing we should worry about too much. But there were not participants at today's practice as well. As for some new injuries today, N'Keal Harry sadly suffered a significant left leg injury with the first play of the team period. Speculations are that it is something about his ankle. He had to be helped off the field and couldn't put much weight on his leg by himself. And obviously that's a big loss for the Bears offense. Obviously he was not impressing too much or was doing incredible stuff on the field. But what he was doing was providing a player that has a big body that can block his ass off on the field. And he showed that in in training camp as well. Like, he looks like the best blocker by far. He has a huge body. He can utilize that, made some nice catches during training camp. We acquired him with a 7th round pick from the Patriots, and obviously we all hope that he could bring back some new energy with a new team, with a new change of scenery. Maybe he could activate a spark in himself and just kind of carve out a nice role with the Bears in 2022. But as it looks like right now, it's not looking too good. Matt Eberflus did not say anything about him in his presser. He did not have any information about him. So let's wait and see. I will definitely keep you updated what happens with N'Keal Harry, but obviously sad for him and also a big loss for the Chicago Bears moving forward. As well as one of our other bigger receivers, Byron Pringle, today was out as well. He deals with a quad injury and will be out for, quote, a while. So I expect him being out for at least a couple of weeks, but is still expected to be ready for week 1 though. So that's some good news at least, but he's still missing a huge portion of training camp with that. And obviously that's a big loss for the offense. He was one of our bigger acquisitions of this free agent period. So some tough losses for the offense today with N'Keal Harry and Byron Pringle. And it's something we definitely have to overcome in somewhat way. I don't know if the Bears are looking to get someone through free agency. I mean, obviously there's someone like Will Fuller still available. Also, Darius Slayton is a player that's on the trade block. So maybe Ryan Poles is looking forward to making a move. Maybe not yet, but I expect the Bears to do something at the wide receiver position, especially with N'Keal Harry now being expected to be out for quite some time. So with that being said, that closes today's injury report, and let's move on to some roster moves. As for the roster moves today, the Bears signed 2 linebackers. First of all, linebacker DeMarquise Gates, 26 years old, and he was one of the best linebackers in the USFL this season. I think he was even elected to the USFL All-Star team, and I mean, he had some insane stats: 62 tackles, 6.5 sacks, and an interception. He's an absolute baller, big linebacker, fast, physical, and I mean, he definitely had a lot of stints with these pre-NFL season leagues. XFL, he played in that as well, and also, like I said, in the USFL, and he always shined in these leagues. So he's a player I'm extremely excited about and can't wait to see what he can do with the Bears in training camp. He could definitely carve out a role on the Bears roster, especially with it being not thin, but not that competitive at the linebacker spot. He could definitely take his chance and has a good chance here to carve out a role with the Bears. And in a corresponding move, the Bears waived linebacker Christian Albright, and later they also signed linebacker DB hybrid Javin White. He was a former Raider and Jet with definitely some upside. He's 6'3", so a very big guy, very athletic, and he just was a pure special teamer so far in his career. He's 25 years old, still young. So just a player with some athletic upside, nothing too wild, but he could make the team as a special teamer, and I thought it was also kind of an interesting signing there. And with that being said, that wraps up the roster moves for today, and let's finally move on to the offensive performance of the practice today. And the offense had one of the best practices per some reports today. Obviously, there are a lot of starters out today, so I don't know how much weight we should put into it, but it's still good to hear. As for our quarterback, Justin Fields, he had a very good day overall, despite missing a lot of key pieces today. He progressed through his reads fast, showed his quick release, made some good decisions, and some clutch throws on 3rd down to keep the drive alive, which was super nice to see. He also commanded the offense very well during a 55-second speed drill without timeouts, and was able to lead the offense into field goal range to get that field goal with Cairo Santos. So that's obviously nice, seeing our quarterback just coming up clutch, making some clutch throws on 3rd down during that period as well, with some lesser talented wide receivers arguably. So just adjusting to the situation and showing what he can do, and that's something we haven't seen in Chicago a lot by many quarterbacks. He also scrambled for some good yards today as well, utilizing his agility and quickness, and he also hit Cole Kmet on a couple of big throws for several big gains today as well. So overall, a very good day by Justin Fields, and I love seeing him trending upwards. The running backs, the running game is looking strong in practice. Khalil Herbert with some nice runs today. He looks very quick with good burst through the gaps, as well as Treston Ebner looks absolutely explosive and is continuing to impress everyone at camp, and I absolutely love to see it. Our 6th round rookie is absolutely shining, and I mean, he's just so good. I love that. As for the wide receivers, Darnell Mooney with some nice catches today. He's just developing into Mr. Reliable at that point. Tajay Sharp was mentioned today as well for the first time, actually, with something positive. The only thing I heard about him so far in camp was yesterday when he was overthrown, and that throw ended up with an interception. So today he bounced back with a good day, made some good tough catches in team as well as the 7-on-7 period. Equanimous St. Brown with an 8-yard gain and some good catches today as well. As for the tight ends, Cole Kmet with once again some big catches for good gains, had a 12-yard catch as well as a 23-yard catch. So Cole Kmet with Darnell Mooney definitely developing into the biggest weapons on offense. The offensive line today, Matt Eberflus stated in his presser that he's happy with the run blocking and that they're just providing good blocks for the run game. As for Cody Whitehair and Riley Reith, both of them had limited workloads today and were not participants in the team period. Maybe just giving the veterans somewhat of a day off or a lesser workload because it was a super hot day today in Chicago as well. And that wraps up the offensive performance today. Like I said, quite a good day with a lot of starters missing, so nice seeing the offense fighting through that and just standing together and working as a unit. And with that being said, let's move on to the defensive performance today. And for the defense, there were not a lot of reports, honestly, guys. Linebacker Nicholas Morrow, like Cole Kmet said yesterday, said that these practices are the most intense practices he's ever been a part of, and that Matt Eberflus and the Hits principal are definitely pushing them to the limits. And I mean, it's just impressive how tough this coaching staff is. It's just refreshing to see a coaching staff actually, it seems like, caring about the entire team. Obviously, Matt Nagy did that as well and his staff, but I mean, it's just more believable from Matt Eberflus' side. As for the defensive back, I only have something on Greg Stroman. He stepped in as the outside corner for Kyler Gordon once again and had a nice pass breakup on Equanimous St. Brown, and it's just developing into a valuable piece of the secondary, actually. I mean, if Kyler Gordon goes down, if Kindle Vildor goes down, who seems to be the superior backup corner to Greg Stroman at the moment. I mean, Greg Stroman is the next guy up, and I mean, he could even surpass Kindle Vildor. I definitely see that happening. He also has that special teams value. I think Greg Stroman is making a strong case towards making the 53-man roster by the end of the roster cuts, and like I said, he's once again having a pretty solid day, just like the last couple of days, so nice seeing that. And nothing more was giving out about the defense today. I'm sorry, guys, but sometimes with the reporters, they're just referring the offense, obviously, with Chicago just now having a super talented quarterback in Justin Fields. And that already wraps up the video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. Like and subscribe if you liked the video. Check out Instagram if you want to as well. Definitely stay tuned for the next couple of days for more training camp update videos, as well as the game preview for the preseason opener against the Kansas City Chiefs. And as always, guys, bear down.